Well, good day, secret community. How has your Labor Day been? My Labor Day's been great. I need to get out this great weather and enjoy the day, but instead I've been searching through the secret and trying to figure out what the heck in the back of the book matches the current solved locations. I took this on as an exercise to see if I could look at the back of the book and match things that are in the back of the book with the previously solved puzzles. And so today I came across an interesting item that has to do, I think, with the Cleveland solve location. And what it has to do with, look at the household unfamiliars and several other of these. You have these puzzles or these pictures or these articles or these descriptions, whatever you want to call them, of items. And one of the things that seems to be a theme is the refrigerator. Well, that got me looking into the Frigidaire company, refrigerators, appliances, etc. And what it brought me to was a merger that occurred in 1979 between Frigidaire and the White Sewing Machine Company. Now, the White Sewing Machine Company was a sewing machine company founded in Massachusetts by Thomas White, but it was based in Cleveland, Ohio since 1866. So one of the primary companies in Cleveland is this White Manufacturing Company, which basically at the time when the book was written in 1979 had recently purchased basically the Frigidaire Company. And so it also had under its tutelage appliance brands such as Kelvinator, Gibson, and Philco. All of these companies were making refrigerators at the time of 1979, not in the United States, because they'd moved most of their manufacturing overseas. And if you went into a Sears store and you bought a refrigerator or an appliance, it more than likely was made by this company, the White Sewing Machine Company, which in 1964 changed its name to White Consolidated Industries. And so I guess what I'm trying to point out here is that there is an opportunity to go through the individual items in the back of the book and match them to the current solved locations, thereby maybe rendering the back of the book items that are most relevant to the unsolved puzzles. And so, again, that's been my focus of the day. And, I guess I'm just going to, I started at the beginning and I got to that one and I thought it was worthy enough to come on and give a presentation about. But when I when I started out looking through here, I started thinking of people from the 1970s that these potential characters might have been modeled after. And for you guys that enjoy your little New Orleans, solved location, I was remembering back to the sweat slips or sweat sylphs. Anyway, I remember that there was two prominent workout exercise routine promoters. And, maybe three. I think there was Jane Fonda had her workout tapes. And you could also get workout tapes by Olivia Newton-John. But the third one that I just thought of was my good buddy, Richard Simmons. And I'm wondering if the sweat slip that's being described here is actually Richard Simmons, who famously was wearing in every appearance his sweatband. And so, again, I don't know if this was what Byron and the authors were pointing out with this exercise movement back in the time of the 1980s. But I remember vividly, you had Olivia Newton-John, you had Jane Fonda, and you had this guy, Richard Simmons, and you could buy their videotapes and the workout tapes. And The reason I mention this is that our buddy Richard Simmons is a native from New Orleans. And I really hate to point that out because I don't believe New Orleans is the location. But anyway, I just thought I'd point out that I thought there was a interesting connection between the possibility of that being who the sweat slip is. Now, the prep ghouls, obviously, I think we know primarily who the prep ghoul is. That's our friend Andy Papulo, who's probably a preppy, and unfortunately met his untimely dismissal around Copp's Hill, or is remembered on Copp's Hill for that untimely dismissal. And so, anyway, the West Ghost, I was looking through the West Ghost, and I was trying to remember back as to who the West Ghost people could have been in the 1979-1980 era. And when I was reading this range, it says that the Ho Daddy clotted breakers off of Catalina. Now, I have always thought that the image that you people think is in San Francisco is actually for Catalina Island. And here we actually have the breakers off of Catalina Island mentioned in the Spotter's Guide. And we have a guy on a skateboard, which I think represents a guy on a surfboard. And we have a camera, a paparazzi camera, if you will, in one of those photos. And then we have the nude hot tub bathing. And it says California lifestyle, So I think that one just kind of fills in my thoughts a little bit on my solve out at Catalina Island. And if you go down to the Pilgrim, we got the picture that's been used in New York in a couple of postings that's been identified as a location. And I'm not sure who the Pilgrim is yet. I'm looking at somebody that was on television or was outspoken in the 1980s, indicating how we have lost our morality. Now, the one person that has crossed my mind as possibly being the Pilgrim is none other than George Herbert Walker Bush the First's wife. And the reason I say this is because, I need to go back to the Reagan administration. I'm sorry. Who this Pilgrim could possibly be is Nancy Reagan. And the reason I say Nancy Reagan is because we had, back at that time, the war on drugs and how everything in this country was going to go to hell because of drugs. And so we've got a Pilgrim who could possibly be pointing out the morality of using drugs and that. So I don't know. I just throw that in. The Freudian slips. The Freudian slips, I have tried to look at this one objectively. And I can't because they have a picture of, they have a political picture here and a ferry, etc. And the line, I looked it up today. I finally found this line that had been bothering me for a while because the one line in the Spotter's Guide is among their recent masterpieces was a statement by a U.S. diplomat that the Arabs and Jews should settle their differences in a Christian manner. And that has been a joke that I had heard, but I didn't know the source of it. And I finally looked up a source of it. And in 1982, that line appears in the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Yes. And so if that's the case, maybe instead of, who I might think some of these are referring to, this might be Tammy Baker. This might be Tammy Baker. Or this might be the Reverend Billy Graham, or some Bible thumper like that, may be who we should be looking at for this puritanical Protestant, sex is bad person, as being either Tammy Faye Baker. Maybe it's we're looking at Nancy Reagan. But that line was delivered in the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which starred Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton as two of the main characters in that movie. Now, whether the movie people stole that from an actual political line, I don't know. But anyway, again, I'm just trying to go through matching some of these ideas with, the people that they could be from real life. The Joke Fiend. Now, this one I'm a little bit biased about. It says Ike and Izzy jokes at bar mitzvahs. Well, I think Ike in this contextual way has to do with Eisenhower. And so I think this is a direct reference to Dwight Eisenhower, who is born in Texas but raised in Abilene, Kansas. And when you get down here and you're talking about, the Catskill Mountains, I think he's just referring to Manhattan, Kansas. What irony would there be that we put we've got a Manhattan Island, and, Manhattan, Kansas is the little Manhattan. Anyway, I put that as a possibility that is in Kansas because of that. But that brought me to that household unfamiliarist and my research that showed the White Corporation in Cleveland purchased basically the appliances, and that maybe all of these appearances of appliances in this particular spotter's guide have to do with Cleveland Solve because of the White Sewing Machine Company. So anyway, I'm going to continue to look through here. I'll come back if I find anything that I just really can't keep from talking about. Hope everybody's having a great day.